Easily the most requested video in this last year's worth of filming is, Caleb, you keep getting these items, these cool finds that you're picking up, you're saying I'm gonna put this in the collection, but where is it? What is the deal with this collection that you keep talking about but that we never see? Does it actually exist? Is it like your weird imaginary friend? And first of all, no, my imaginary friend's name is Trevor and he doesn't like you talking about him like that. And second of all, until this point, the entire collection was shoved in a dark corner because I didn't have the space to display it. And frankly, a collection video at that point would have looked so bad visually that I just didn't want to do it until I could do it right. And just this last week, these shelves came in, I was able to make a project of putting them up, and now I have all kinds of space to display my beloved collection, and this entire video is just going to be me going one by one and rambling about all of these items. A lot of them you guys have actually seen if you've been following along with the channel for a while, seen me pick up a lot of this stuff in previous videos, so I think it will be a walk down memory lane for both of us, and I just cannot tell you how excited I am to shamelessly geek out about the video game items that I love most for the next 10, 15, who knows how many minutes. Already had to take my sweatshirt off because I'm getting heated up just talking about this. Ladies and gentlemen, check out these freaking amazing shelves. I even have my trusty step ladder to guide you guys through this thing because like it's so high that I can honestly barely even reach it. By the way, if you guys saw this lovely Phoenix neon in one of my recent videos, unfortunately I had to take it down because it's broken. But I did have to give a shout out to this bad boy. It's going to have to get replaced with, I think, like a poster light box right up here. That should be coming relatively soon, but Erica put so much work into customizing this thing. It's a shame that it's not going to get much more screen time, but Erica, thanks so much for this thing. It was an amazing try. All right, so stepping right up to the plate here, we've got the lovely Pokemon and Game Boy section right here. The Game Boy SP, a lot of you guys might know, is in contention for my favorite video game system of all time. It's right up there with the Switch. I think the Switch is just a little bit above it right now. And I think this color is probably the best one, but oh my gosh, folks, so many memories associated with all these Pokemon games, both from playing them in my childhood and now also from like picking them up in various places on this channel for the most part as an adult. Like this Heart Gold version is in pristine condition. I bought that from our good friend Retro Rick.
For my son!
Pokemon Soul Silver I got in the massive retro buyout that I did in the spring. A lot of you guys might remember that. Fire Red and also Emerald I picked up at the same time. How many of you guys remember the video? I think it was called If I Hadn't Filmed This You Wouldn't Believe It, or some amazing title like that. Got both of these at a video game store for a really good deal, like about half of what market rate is. These three I actually got in the same collection that I bought in a mail deal from a viewer. I can't remember if I filmed that or not. We got Pokemon Ruby over here. I think that was part of that same deal. Gex 64, who could forget my good old Gex video?
So many Gex!
Smash Bros 64 was the first game that I could ever beat my dad at, so that has very fond memories, and I have put more hours into the Smash franchise than probably any other franchise, probably even more than Pokemon, just because I played it so much with my friends growing up. Moving on the N64, we've got Pokemon Stadium here, which I picked up from my good friend Hunting with Tripler in California, and then this Japanese version of Pokemon Stadium I actually got in a video that was a ton of Japanese Nintendo stuff that I like unboxed, and I can't remember if it was live or not, but I think the title was like, I've never seen these consoles before. That was back in the spring if you guys want to take a look at that one. Then we've got my little Breath of the Wild shrine over here, my favorite game I would say of all time. Very recently picked up these amiibo in a deal, which at the time I didn't realize I was going to keep, but they actually look really nice up here. We've got two Breath of the Wild guides, and then my second favorite Switch game, Mario Odyssey. We've got the game and art book over here. I've come to realize that I really enjoy the more like artful kind of strategy guide thing, which you have, like this Odyssey one is just a straight up art book. This one is creating a champion for Breath of the Wild, so like it's a book about the whole process of creating that game, which I just love. Then right up here, we've got my three favorite Switch games of all time, or at least I think they're my favorites. Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and Celeste. I was really torn between Celeste and Luigi's Mansion on the Switch. Ultimately, Celeste was just a more unique experience for me. I love the buttery soft controls. The art style and the music were just, they were excellent. But honestly, I could kind of go either way. You guys can let me know in the comments if you played both, which one you like better. I'd be curious to know. And then this isn't my whole Switch collection here. This is all the limited run stuff that I have managed to collect up until this point. I really like indie games, and the fact that limited run publishes a lot of them is just something that I'm a big fan of. And then also Rivals of Aether up there. If you haven't played this is a really solid little Smash clone that I've actually gotten a lot of fun out of. Then last but not least, in the Switch section over here, oh, I should say these are some of my other favorite Switch games of all time. Smash Bros. Ultimate, believe it or not, Puyo Puyo Tetris. Actually, I've had a bunch of fun with that one. Animal Crossing, Donut County, Luigi's Mansion, as I said, and Untitled Goose Game. You can probably tell I'm kind of attracted both to like the major kinds of titles that everybody likes, and then the like somewhat smaller, kind of more obscure like physical releases. And then over here we've got 4 of my favorite special edition Switches, which I think will have their home on this shelf for a long time. If you haven't seen my video also from back in the spring of sort of a review of every single special edition Switch, I was really proud of that video. It didn't perform all that well. I think it just maybe didn't match up with my audience super great, but it's definitely one unlike anything I've ever seen elsewhere on other channels. Then just moving right along here, we've got the Pokemon section. Pokemon is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Not a huge fan of where it's gone in recent years, especially Sword and Shield. Ugh. Don't get me started. But up here we've got a lot of channel memories to talk about. A couple Poliwhirl plushes that I've managed to find, and a Heracross one that I got in my video with Retro Rick at Gamepoint in Arkansas.
For my son!
Then of course these two bad boys. This might have been my first ever video to hit 100,000 views, so that was a really big moment for me. Finding the base set Charizard, Shadowless Charizard, and Mewtwo at a sale. I got both of those puppies for $5, so it was one of my highest margin finds ever. Ended up getting them graded, took a few months, got them back. They're both PSA 4s, but they just mean a lot to me, so they're going to stay in my collection probably forever. Then I know a lot of you guys will also remember the video where I bought out all of the 90s Pokemon toys from a vendor booth. I ended up paying like somewhere between 15 and 20 for all of them. Most of them I just used as Discord giveaways, but a couple of my favorites here, Pikachu and Raichu, and also this Arcanine Marble Carrier, because if any of you guys remember the Pokemon Marble game, that's super nostalgic for me. And if you look very close, who is the promo marble in this set but Poliwhirl himself?
Now I'm gonna have a totally new Poliwhirl!
Then a few other items, the Pokemon Battle and Coin game. This is actually still sealed. I picked this up at my first ever video game convention. That's another reason that is a little bit more special to me. This last summer, I think it was June. Super fun memory there. And then we also have this life-size Pokeball replica that turns on when you touch it. It's touch activated. Isn't that just the coolest thing? There's a nice case for it in here as well. Then both of these Pokemon Game Boy Colors, I believe I got during a video of buying out somebody's video game inventory from a neglected storage unit, so some fond memories associated with those bad boys as well, as is the case for basically everything on this shelf, as you guys are sensing. And if you've made it this far in the video, I'm sure I honestly don't even have to tell you about this last section of the shelf. Good old GameCube Gambit games. I am having so much fun reliving, or actually living for the first time, my childhood dreams of owning a substantial GameCube collection, and also just getting to experience some of that library for the first time, even if, to be honest, I don't think some of it holds up all that well. Shout out to you, Kirby Air Ride. The biggest thing that I haven't talked about in previous videos on this shelf right here is this custom Poliwhirl controller that I painted for myself before even starting my YouTube channel. It just sort of blends my love of both GameCube, specifically Melee, because I did play a ton of Melee at friends' houses in high school, and also the classic Polyboy. This thing seriously took me like days to put all the coats on, and it probably expresses better than any other item on this shelf like my personal interest and affinity in video games. And you might be tempted to think that's it for the collection walkthrough, but wait,
there's more! Hang on to your seat, baby!
we've got another 2 shelves worth of collection right over here. By the way, everyone, sorry, I feel like the lighting's been a little bit wonky in this whole video. I'm honestly just really bad at lighting, but hopefully that's not getting in the way of the experience. Starting down here, we have the good old Pooh shelf.
Oh, yes!
This is for anything and everything Pooh related, except for don't ask me about the random Monster Hunter Rise Deluxe Edition Switch that we have in the back there. That just, it kind of showed up for the party. This Winnie the Pooh adventure here is actually, for the most part, sealed. This was given to me as a gift at the last convention that I went to. I think the only one of these that I played as a kid was Tigger's Honey Hunt, and I actually played it on the PS1. Some of this stuff has been sent in the mail to me by viewers. I do have to say, if you find Winnie the Pooh stuff in the wild, games especially, I definitely appreciate the thought, but I've gotten to the point where I have to sometimes like just put stuff straight into the trade-in pile because I already have it in the Pooh collection. But Pooh, I mean, what can you even say about him? He's a chubby little cubby.
Time for my stoutness exercise.
This stuffed animal right here, his name is Football Pooh because I actually used to throw him with my dad on the quad at University of Illinois as a football when I was too young to even hold like a real football. I was probably like 3 years old. Then moving on up here, we've got the rest of the Switch collection. A decent number of these will actually probably end up getting sold. I made a rule actually specifically for this for the GameCube Gambit that if I want to sell stuff from my current collection to get more GameCube games for the collection, that is on the table, because I was looking to sell some of these at some point in the future anyway, and to get some of the higher dollar GameCube games that I would love to eventually get my hands on, I think I'm going to have to start with some capital. So given that that's a way that people oftentimes go about adjusting their collections anyway, I thought that that should be on the table. Some other items up here include the Dragon Quest Switch controller, which, by the way, if you haven't seen my series that I did about this time last year, that was a special edition Switch challenge. I think there's a playlist for that on my channel. That was a ton of fun. I started with one Switch game and wanted to buy and sell and trade my way up to a special edition Dragon Quest Switch, and needless to say, at the end I was able to do it after I think 4 episodes. We got a little Breath of the Wild controller. This Mario and Luigi we got in a recent yard sale vlog. Kirby Canvas Curse we got from trading into Matt's Games. I was going to send this one into Amazon, but because it has a little bit more emotional significance for me, I decided to keep it around even though I don't have much of a complete DS collection right now. And then this XY Evolutions box, to be honest, I just completely forgot that I had kept in my closet after the original trade video that I was doing with these. I was trying to trade them up when the Pokemon hype was extremely high for collections of video games. I made a whole video about that as well. And this one I just never ended up flipping, and now of course it's worth a lot less than it was at the peak, so that was a little bit of an oopsies on my part. Oops. Then the last piece of my collection that I will show you guys today is actually here in my inventory overflow room, my spare room. Didn't even make it into the office. I'm gonna have to like play leapfrog here even to get over here. This right here is the remainder of my Switch collection that couldn't fit on the shelves, as well as the Super Nintendo 3DS XL, which I took with me to Europe, and a Game Boy Advance that I got in a deal a while back. That one actually is modded and has a nicer screen, so I decided to keep it around. But to be honest, a lot of that stuff I haven't even gotten to play yet because I've been doing more stuff with the GameCube, and also I've been replaying Breath of the Wild in Master Mode, which is so freaking hard. Now before I go today, I want to introduce you guys to a friend that I've talked about a little bit before, named Al.
Hi, Caleb.
Now Al, also sometimes known by his full name, the YouTube algorithm, is a very moody and fickle guy. And the best way that you and I can get on Al's good side is by pressing like on this video and leaving a comment of what your personal favorite part of this collection was or memory was associated with it. And you guys already know, when Al is happy, I'm very happy, so I really appreciate you guys doing that. And in all seriousness, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this walk down the channel's memory lane as much as I have. I'm thrilled with how the shelves have turned out, and I'm glad that they're going to be a stellar background for future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you all on the flip.